So what we're going to do today is we're just going to do a quick sweet and sour sauce, just to show how easy it is, that you don't actually need to buy a jar. So what we've got a pinch of dried chili flakes, we've got a thumb-sized piece of ginger grated, 2 cloves of garlic, which we will also grate, 1 onion chopped and petalled, 1 green pepper chopped, 1 red pepper chopped, 1 tin of pineapple in natural pineapple juice drained, keeping the juice. We're going to use a tablespoon of corn flour. We've got 1 tablespoon of dark soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of soft brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of tomato ketchup. So that's all you need. That's the only ingredients you need to make your own sweet and sour sauce. So here we go. We're just going to start the sweet and sour now. So the first thing to do, because we're going to use a tablespoon of cornstarch, when you're using cornstarch, you need to make a slurry out of it, because if you just add it straight into a dish, it's just going to go clumpy and it won't dissolve down. So what I've done is I've just put the tablespoon of cornstarch into my pot, and I'm just going to put a little drizzle of the pineapple juice into it. Just give it a stir around, just so it becomes a paste, and then that way it's not going to go all clumpy and lumpy when it goes into your sauce. So we've just put it like that into a watery paste. So we start off just a tiny drizzle of oil, and then in we go with the peppers and the onions. We're just going to cook those for a couple of minutes, just till they start softening down. This won't take very long at all, and it's just so much nicer than one out of a jar, but you do still get that nice sweet and sour taste to it. So we're just going to cook those just for a couple of minutes. We're going to do this in real time because it doesn't take that long at all. So as I say, we can turn that up a little bit. We're just stir frying these to get them soft. You still want a bit of crunch to them. You don't want them all mushy and down. Right. So basically, the sweetness we're going to get from the pineapple juice, obviously from the sugar, a slight amount from the ketchup, and then the sour, we've got the white wine vinegar and the dark soy sauce. So it's those it's those 4 ingredients combined that gives you that nice sweet and sour that we all like. And obviously you've got a little bit of sour from the peppers, and then the sweetness from the actual pineapple. So we're just going to give these probably a minute more. I'm just going to turn that up onto full. This is the longest part really, is just softening down these peppers. Now I've cut these into quite big chunks. I quite like them like that. Obviously you could do smaller chunks, you could dice them if you wanted to. You're still going to get that sweet and sour sauce. So if you preferred them tiny diced, you could dice them, you could slice them. As I say, I quite like the bigger chunks, but that's totally up to you. Just going to get my garlic ready. Once these have started, you know once it started going, because the peppers start blistering. So really all you're doing at the moment is just a quick stir fry. I just want to make sure these do start going, because we don't want totally raw peppers in them, because it will just be too bitter. It won't have that nice sweet and sour taste. So you do need to take a couple of minutes just to get these softened down. Just flipping some of them over onto their skin side so they get that nice skin starts going. So we're nearly there. As I say, this is the longest part. Once they start, we'll be ready to go. Just lift it up a little bit. Lovely. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go in with my garlic. You can grate your garlic, you can crush your garlic, do whatever you want with your garlic. I just find it easier to grate it. Just get those last bits off. Oh, and the lid, we don't want to stir fry the lid. So we just give that sort of 30 seconds or so. You don't want to burn the garlic, but on the same token you do want to cook the garlic, so keep it moving. Lovely. Then we're going to go in with our ginger. The same, just give that a quick stir around. Right, now we're going to go in with our sugar. And again, just stir after each thing that you put in, just give it a quick stir around just so it's all nice and coated. Then we're going to go in with our soy. Look at that. Our white wine vinegar. This now smells amazing. In with our ketchup. Lovely. Just going to have a tiny, tiny pinch of chilli. Don't have to put that in if you don't want to. Literally a tiny pinch. Then we're going to go in with our pineapple juice. As I say, that was the juice from the tin. So now we're just going to bring this back up to the boil. This won't take long. Just going to give our little corn flour slurry a stir. So we're just going to wait for this to come up to the boil. Nearly there. You can obviously do this in a saucepan. I just find it easier in the wok. I just think it's easier because you've got more space and it's nice and shallower than a deep saucepan. So we're just about coming up to the boil. Yeah, here we go. So then we go in with our corn flour. Again, give that a stir. So the job of the corn flour is just to thicken it. Now you might notice that this isn't the bright orange that you get from a jar, and that's because invariably that's had we're just going to go in with our pineapple. Invariably that's had colourings and additives added to it. So this is a natural coloured sweet and sour. So all we do now, the corn flour's done its job, so it's all nice and thick. When you run the spatula through, you can see that separating. So it's thickened up. So all we do now is we just let it cook for a couple of minutes just to warm through that pineapple. Everything else is cooked. I'll just bring it up to a bubble, which is what it's doing now. So there you have it. That is homemade, as quick as you like, sweet and sour sauce. And as I say, I know it doesn't look like a jar, but give it a go and see what you think.